What is going on, hobby family? It is your boy K-Dub, and it is the back to school edition of K-Dub's High Five, 5 rapid fire questions with your favorite hobby faces. And today, it's one of my personal hobby favorites. Also, one of my best friends. He's a teacher, he's a coach, he's a TikTok sensation, he's a collector, he's a great dude. My friend Javier at Coach Solis12 on Twitter and TikTok. How are you doing today, bro?
I'm doing well. K-Dub, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. You're back to school. You're back in the classroom.
I am. I'm going on 1 week, 3 days. Not that I'm counting down the days.
Well, thank you for all you do, man. And it's good to see you back in your natural saddle there. So you're looking good. So, but let's get into it here. How this works, man. 5 questions, all hobby related, maybe a little teacher related in there too. You ready to take on the high five?
I'm ready.
All right, man. Your Twitter handle, also TikTok handle, is Coach Solis12. Always interested to know, how did you land on this for your social media name?
Coach Solis12. I mean, it was Biggs baseball for the longest time. I've been in Biggs. I'm going on year 11 right now. It was Biggs baseball. As soon as I stepped down from the Biggs baseball program, I went over to Gridley for a year. Right now, I think I'm just going to focus on my kids' coaching aspect of the coaching side. And so Coach Solis12, 12 was my college number. It was my number growing up playing baseball. So it's just kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, man. And you a full-time coach, man. You do high school, you do little kids, you do the little kids. You probably coach your wife up a little bit in life too. So, I mean, you do it all.
Yeah, I mean, my schedule is actually Monday and Wednesdays. I have soccer practice from 6 to 6:30 with my 6U soccer team. I have a 10U soccer team from 6:30 to 7:30. Baseball practice Tuesday, Thursdays from 6 to 8. Fridays a family day. Saturdays either a soccer game or baseball tournament. Saturdays, Sundays.
So it's not just like one specific sport coach. It is, you coach it all, man. You do it all.
Yep. No, my dad did the same thing for us when we were kids. So I can only do the same for my kids.
I love it, man. I love it. So, all right, man. Well, let's talk a little bit about the collecting, your hobby journey. Who have been some of your kind of biggest influences, would you say, in your life when it comes to collecting sports cards, collecting memorabilia, whatever it is, your collecting journey?
So it has to start off with Kidorty.com or Kidorty when they were, when it first came out, and they had, Jaden was like, Dad, I love sports, I love doing this. So Kidorty just started. So I was working with Kidorty. They had asked Jaden to be in their commercial that they did. They put a little sideshow commercial to be part of it. But being able to give back to the kids, and it inspired me, because I remember my dad, taking us to go get cards. So after that, I mean, it just carried on. I mean, you were one of the first persons I actually, bought a card from. It was the Julio Jones big card. So, I mean, I still have it, just because I had never seen a card like that. And even though it's from the Falcons, I was just amazed that I think he charged me like $20 for it. But I was like, holy smokes, like, this card is so cool. And then, after that point, I just loved it. Deafness, Jimmy Guns, Aloy, Eric, Jamie, Buck City, I mean, Nate, all those guys have just been amazing when it comes to the card hobby. And, shout out to those guys. I mean, they're one of the big reasons why, this hobby is so much fun. And, I got to where I am today in collecting. For sure. And now your boy has actually kind of jumped into the hobby Twitter thing as well. He might have taken over my spot. I mean, more people reach out to him than they do me now. But that's all right. I won't be jealous.
Well, I know how it is, man. My son's collection is way cooler than mine. Your son is way cooler than you in the social media thing. It just kind of happens, man.
Yeah, I think he has like 30 Christian Pache autographs now.
And it's like, usually it happens when they're older, but for us, it's like, might as well rip that Band-Aid off quick, man.
Oh man, and to sit back as a 10-year-old kid and realize what you have already in front of you, and to be 35 like we are today, sit back and be like, oh man, I've been collecting for a while. I think that's going to be even more of excitement for him when he gets older, for his to be family in the future.
Oh yeah, and the stories he's got behind those cards, man. I mean, that's everything. So. Pretty cool, man. All right, man. Well, let's get to the cards. I know that you have a handful of Braves that you love, but is there a Grail card out there for you that you've always wanted or you're currently chasing? Like, what's the Grail for you, Mr. Solis?
You know what? I think Sue came up big. Sue coming up big with that Acuna and Riley dual autograph was a big one for me.
Okay.
I had put it out there that I had saved half, and I know the hobby community kind of jumped in, pitching the other half, which, again, that was not my intentions whatsoever. But I mean, you guys, again, I mean,
what they do,
one surprise after another, picked up the other half of it. Sue texts me and goes, hey, send me 300, we'll call it good. Everybody else kind of picked up the rest. So I'm really afraid to tell you a hobby next one because I mean you guys are crazy when it comes to crazy cool random acts of kindnesses. But I think right now I'm super happy with my Acuna Riley, and I know that I'm keeping that one. Story with Austin Riley. Got to have dinner with him last year.
Yeah.
That's a huge personal connection that I have with that card.
So tell me the card. It's an Acuna Riley dual auto. What's the numbering? What's the product?
It's one of the top finest. Man, you caught me on the.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, don't be. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I should have looked up the information. I'm sorry.
No,
but
man.
It is graded, so it is a graded one. So that's a cool part.
You send me a pic, and I'll make sure to flash it up while we're talking.
I will. That I can do.
Okay, we'll make sure to
flash it. But I have the picture.
Shout out to Stu, man. One of the best for sure.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, let's get to the product itself. I don't know how much product you rip now, but I know that when coming up as a kid, we all rip product. Is there kind of money's not an option? Is there a box that you would rip, and what would it be and why?
You know what? It's got to be the Flair Showcase NBA. And
okay.
I said back in the in the 1990s Flair Showcase one.
Yeah.
That's one of the memories that I have of my dad buying us cards when we were kids. I mean, you're always chasing those Michael Jordans, and at this time, names are just athletes. So it's not like, oh my gosh, if I save this Michael Jordan card, who knows what's going to happen?
For sure.
But I mean, just seeing my dad's face, like, oh my gosh, this is Michael Jordan, or hey, this is Tim Duncan, one of the best centers, of all time, power forwards, and just seeing his face light up over these names that to me had no relevance at the time, but seeing his face light up, and one of the kids in my group is like, hey, Mr. Lewis, I brought you a basketball card. And Michael Jordan top showcase one. And I was like, oh my gosh, his name's Russell. So shout out to you, Russell. He's like, yeah, I saw a Michael Jordan card. I want to give it to you. And it automatically was a flashback of, me opening up these cards and, with them shooting in their face, big face.
Yeah.
Just super cool to see this card as an adult and be like, man, I remember opening those up when I was a kid. So I'd have to say the Flair Showcase.
Now, if I remember right, Flair Showcase came in little boxes.
Yep.
Right, and you would it was like a mini hobby box inside of a hobby box.
Yep.
Rip the plastic, and then you kind of slide the unveiled cardboard.
Yeah, and I couldn't even. every card had a cardboard behind it,
Yep.
And I couldn't even remember the price. And I'm pretty sure price meant something to my parents. I mean, we didn't have much money, so. I mean, if my dad was buying us 2-3 cases or 2-3, decks of cards, it obviously must have been somewhat reasonable.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he was like, oh, let's try to get one more. Let's see if we can get, chase that Michael Jordan. I just remember Michael Jordan, he really wanted Michael Jordan card. So I'm actually taking it to him today to give this to him because I know this is one card that he was always chasing.
And just the quality of those Flair cards, man. I mean, those cards define the 90s for me, the image of the player in the back or the face of the background with the guy shooting and just the sparkles and the the glitter and the glam. I mean, it's 90s to a T, man.
Yep. So yeah, I would say a Flair case, or a Flair Showcase, just a childhood memory.
Yep. Heck yeah, man. I'm right there with you. So, all right, man. Well, let's last question here. As a teacher, we kind of know the impacts of social media, the good and the bad. But I know for you, man, there's been a lot of really cool things that have happened as a result of your social media, doing things for your classrooms, for your students, for your ASB, as well as your son. Just speak to some of that, man, as far as some of the positive things that have happened as a result of you being a part of the social media, but mainly kind of the hobby Twitter community.
With the social media aspect, I think just the kindness. If you can show people the kindness that you're willing to spread, it's going to come back 360 right back to you. I mean, everything I do on social media is not for attention, not to get back. And I mean, just as a teacher, I mean, we take on this profession to help our world, to help these kids succeed. And I mean, that's the same thing with social media. When we're posting things on social media, I mean, you won't see me drinking alcohol. You won't see me, at a nightclub. I mean, my social media is used on a positive platform to, as a professional, as a teacher, as a coach. And I know that kids are looking at my social media. I know I have, parents looking on the outside. I have, great role models like you guys that it allows me to stay connected with, because I'm sure if I was posting inappropriate things, we kind of lose connection. So, I mean, I definitely use social media to the most powerful positive aspect I can, just because I mean there still is a lot of good out in that world.
Oh, for sure, man.
And we're gonna come up to negative feedback. So Jaden having a social media account on Twitter, I hear about it every once in a while from people, but you just got to brush that stuff off. I have access to all of his Twitter stuff, so it's not like he has his own personal phone. If he's like, hey dad, can I check my Twitter, it's on my phone, it's not on a tablet, it's nowhere else. I'm the only one that has his username and password. So if he wants to look at it, he can look at it on my phone, and then I'm looking over his shoulder, make sure everything's good. But I know he enjoys seeing you guys with your families, and so I mean, the positive aspect that you guys, show on there, he's looking at and respecting that.
For sure, man, for sure. And you've actually kind of hit the viral piece to social media with a TikTok video, man. I mean, how do you come up with your TikTok stuff? Really, I mean, are you seeing other people doing it? Is it your creativity?
One of the tools that they teach us in college when you become a teacher is don't reinvent the wheel. So I'm definitely stealing ideas. I try to give as much credit as I can to the people that I steal it from.
For sure.
You obviously throw your own little spice into it, but no, with the TikTok world, it's so much fun because as an educator in middle school, they want to see their teacher being silly. They want to see their teacher lip syncing. They want to see their teacher throw down some dance moves. I just posted one of me hitting some home runs in softball, and sure enough, negative feedback. Oh, look at this guy posting softball home runs. And what they didn't realize is that I did it for a charity event for my buddy who passed away, 12 years ago. So everything I did that day is always dedicated to him. It's not about my stats. I'm not going to go play pro. Every time I get to step on that field and swing a bat, I always think of him and I think about our playing time together. So,
for sure.
But again, that's that social media aspect where, I'm wanting to spread, how much fun I'm still having. And, I still got a little bit of game built up in me, but I'm also, everything I do is for a purpose.
Hey man, I will always retweet them bombs you dropping, man. Always. So just know for me, keep them coming. So
I can't jump as high as you can, but I know I can put that ball over that fence. So I got to be on some aspects.
It's all smoke and mirrors, man. All right, man. Hey, I got one more bonus question for you. You being a coach, I know you love baseball. I know you love Major League Baseball. If you were coaching a high school team and one player walked onto your team with the skill set of one of the, hundreds of MLB players, which player would you want on your team?
And Austin Riley.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to say Austin Riley. I mean, the dinner conversation we had, to actually sit down and just pick his brain. I've played a lot of baseball. I have more baseball years experience, but he made it to the show and to sit down and just pick his brain. Hey, how are you picking up the seams? He's like, what are you talking about? I don't pick up seams. I literally guess. To hear him say, like, they're literally studying the percentages of how many fastballs compared to changeups, curveballs that pitchers are throwing. They're literally having to take guesses. So if they guess wrong, that's that swing that is way out in front. But it was so interesting because as a baseball player thinking back, it's like, no, we really did guess. It is so hard to literally pick up every single, seam on a baseball. But his mentality, his characterism, his love for his wife and his newborn is a true family man. So a lot of respect to Austin Riley.
All right, man. There it is. Shout out to Austin Riley. If he ever sees a high five, he will get a shout out. So, all right, man. Hey, we cleared the list. That's all I got. We got a high five, man. Throw it up. You can check out Javier on Twitter and TikTok at Coach Solis 12. Also, man, thanks for all you do as a teacher. I wish you the best start to the school year. That's all we got, friends. We'll catch you guys next time on the next High Five.